I went on groceries. It's a very simple word, groceries. Like almost, who uses the word? I started using the word, the groceries. A vote for Trump means your groceries will be cheaper. It'll also bring your grocery bill way down. I have more complaints on groceries. When you buy apples, when you buy bacon, when you buy eggs. Where the price of bacon, the price of lettuce, the price of tomatoes, bacon, lettuce, tomatoes, everything is so much higher than it ever was. We're going to bring those prices way down because people can't afford their groceries, and they're going to be affording their groceries very soon.
But in his Time Person of the Year interview, Donald Trump finally admits it's very hard to bring those prices down. He also said energy is going to bring costs down and a better supply chain. He's already promised to boost oil and gas production. But here's the thing to keep in mind. American energy production is already at an all-time high.
So many voters listen to all of that obviously empty bluster and believe Trump will do exactly what he's now saying that he won't do. Oh, and by the way, the information showing that oil drilling is at an all-time high was available before people claimed that they voted for him to bring down costs and increase drilling. They just never really listened to what he kept saying.
Talk about that because I had to save the oil companies. They were all going to go bust. I said, this is the first time I've ever said we got to get it up a little bit. I actually called Russia and the King of Saudi Arabia. We had a three-way call, and we cut back on the oil because it was so incredible. Helped fill up the strategic national reserves, and he's now taken all of that to reduce gasoline prices for cars just prior to the election, very artificially. And he's reduced it down to the lowest level that it's been in, I think, 60 years.
Who knows if this guy actually had a damning conversation with Russia and Saudi Arabia for the sole purpose of increasing gas prices to save oil companies, he said. Which should have been the 48th thing that he said to tank his fake populist campaign. When opponents pointed out that he never even gave any concepts of a plan to bring down costs on everything and do it fast, he said, they were considered to have Trump derangement syndrome.
We will end inflation and make America affordable again. We're going to get the prices down. We have to get them down. It's too much. Groceries, cars, everything. We're going to get the prices down. But prices will come down. You just watch. They'll come down, and they'll come down fast, not only with insurance, with everything. Tomorrow, I will end inflation. We will cut your taxes, end inflation, slash your prices. I will end inflation. Slash your prices. To rapidly reduce inflation, I will end inflation very quickly. End inflation. Slash your prices. We will cut your taxes, end inflation, slash your prices. We're going to get your prices down.
He did it by convincing folks that his entire public life of business failure was somehow just a figment of everyone's imagination. So now that he's filling his cabinet up with really rich people that also have a very public life consisting of using regular Americans to build their wealth off of, his enablers have to keep going with that narrative.
Aren't you sick of a government run by politicians, professors, and economists? People with no real life experience. They don't know how things work. This time is different. We're bringing in men and women who know how to create things from scratch and build stuff within a budget. And if they don't get results, get fired. This is the most real American cabinet the country's ever seen. Elon Musk says we're about to experience the most dramatic transformation since the nation's founding. What a lucky time to be alive.
They don't feel a need to change the game plan of just tossing out these empty promises and promotions of billionaires that have never given a second thought to advancing the interests of most American taxpayers. If anyone like Jesse Waters has the approval of Trump, due to his eagerness to perpetuate his claims, they're trusted to say up is down and left is right.
So we need to keep our eye on the ball. Donald Trump is putting a record number of billionaires in his cabinet because the only thing that's going to happen when Donald Trump is president is that billionaires are going to steal from the rest of us. That's what the Trump administration is going to be. A massive tax cut for billionaires and millionaires. The wholesale turnover of government to benefit billionaires while the rest of us get screwed. Higher taxes, higher prices for regular Americans, less consumer protections, all so that the billionaires who are in Donald Trump's cabinet and all their other billionaire friends can make even more money. Keep your eye on the ball. It's not a coincidence that Donald Trump is putting all of these super rich people in his cabinet. people that aren't really qualified to run these agencies, but people who know that if they control the government, they can make even more money. There are so many billionaires in this cabinet that the collective wealth of Donald Trump's cabinet is higher than 169 countries. That's extraordinary. And it exists for one reason and one reason only. You are getting screwed in order for the billionaires that Trump is putting in charge of the government to get even richer.
None of it makes any sense. And this billionaire cabinet isn't even worried about trying to fool anyone anymore. They're even bragging about the plan to give beneficial agreements to the highest bidder.
And Trump literally posted on Truth Social, any person or company investing $1 billion or more in the United States of America will receive fully expedited approvals and permits, including, but in no way limited to, all environmental approvals. Get ready to rock. Literally sacrificing the integrity of our land for corporate profit.
This specific proposal is just absolutely bonkers, right? Because what he's saying is you'll get regulatory breaks in this country, but only if you are a billionaire. If you are a mom and pop factory that wants to add on a new wing to hire more local workers, you don't get that deal from Trump. If you're a local housing developer and you want to build some more houses to lower the cost of mortgages in your community, you don't get that special deal. What he says with that social media post is billionaires get one set of rules. All the rest of us get a different set of rules. Like, how much more plainly could you make it that this is an oligarchy that's coming in which 6 or 7 really rich people play by one set of rules that allows them to enrich themselves, and all of the rest of us, including small and medium-sized businesses in this country, get screwed. He's just telling you what he's doing. And listen, I think we should start listening to him.
What part of Trump's declaration to give the country over to greedy rich people and corporations screams draining the swamp? What do his supporters think that it means to offer favorable permits and approvals to anyone that can bribe him with $1 billion? I don't even know why so many of us are still focusing on illustrating the obvious holes in their trust in him, because we're just at the stage of just waiting and seeing if his promises of an oligarchy come to fruition, and seeing if his loyal supporters know what they'll be paying for.
The GOP campaigned and won on a propaganda-fueled lie to the American people. They said over and over and over again that it was immigrants or people of color or trans people or whoever that were to blame for our economic problems. It wasn't a trans person who denied your health insurance claim. It was a giant health insurance company that has gone unregulated by the Republican majority. It was not an asylum seeker that raised your rent. It was a Wall Street hedge fund that did, just like the Wall Street hedge funds CEOs that Trump is trying to fill his cabinet up with. The truth is the GOP doesn't give a damn about working people. They just pretend to. They distract us with bigoted culture war propaganda while they pick the pockets of hardworking Americans.